What's the color of mirror? Humans can differentiate 10 million different colors, but it's hard to imagine the mirror is not white or silver. It is actually the color of whatever is reflected onto it. The perfect mirror reflects all images in the exact opposite direction, angle of reflection, and distance. So the color of the mirror would be kind of smart white. But we live in a real world where there is no perfect mirror. Every real mirror absorbs a very tiny amount of light. In particular, it best reflects light within the 510 nanometer range, which is the spectrum of visible green light. So technically, your mirror is stitchy green. How much of our brain do we use? It has been misattributed to many people, including Albert Einstein, that we only use 10% of our brains. This myth was originated in the 1890 by the father of American psychology, William James. He said, "Most of us do not meet our mental potential," and this misunderstanding stuck for a long time. The truth is, we use virtually every part of the brain, and most of the part is active all the time. In fact, during sleep, all parts of your brain remain active. It is true that every part of the brain is not concurrently active at any given moment. For the maximum efficiency and in order to be conscious at all, 1 to 16% of the cells should be active. Furthermore, most of the cells are used to control unconscious activities such as heart rate, dreaming, etc. The human brain requires 20%, more than any other organ, of the body's energy. In children, that figure is 50%, and in infants, it is 60%. It contains more neurons, around 86 billion, than any other species, and this dense neuron packing is what makes us so smart. Which came first, the egg or the chicken? The egg-laying animals existed way far before the chicken came. So technically, the egg came before the chicken. Let's take the clock many moons ago when there were no chickens. A creature very similar to chicken, let's call it proto-chicken, would have mated with other proto-chicken. The two organisms pass their genes in the form of DNA. However, the replication of DNA is never 100% accurate, and very often produces a tiny change for the new organism. These tiny changes in DNA could create a new species over thousands of generations. The same happened with proto-chickens, and the small genetic mutation created the new species called chicken, which grew in an egg. How much money is there in the world? Well, it's difficult to figure out the accurate number, but that amount has a special name and divided into 4 categories, i.e. This is the smallest measure of money supply that includes aggregate evolve coins and banknotes. This amount is slightly more than $5 trillion. This is really huge, but it is less than even 10% of the total money we humans have available to spend. Is time travel really possible? Technically, we are already traveling in time at the rate of 1 hour. The actual question is, can we travel faster or slower than this rate? It's already been done. The Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev time traveled into his own future by 0.02 seconds. He spent 803 days, 9 hours, 39 minutes orbiting our planet. Traveling at 17,500 miles per hour, he experienced an effect called time dilation. Einstein's special relativity theory says that when your traveling speed relative to other objects is close to the speed of light, time goes slower for you than for the people you left behind. That's the reason the clock of GPS satellites disagrees with the clock on Earth by 7 millionth of a second daily. What is the resolution of the human eye? The digital images are made of millions of tiny tiles-like elements. The more these tiny elements, called pixels, the more will be the resolution. A single megapixel is equivalent to 1 million pixels in an image. If you know the width and height of an image, you can calculate how many pixels your camera gets by simply multiply them. Also, the megapixels have nothing to do with the quality of the image. Quality depends on exposure, focus, lighting, camera lens, and various other factors. However, the human eye doesn't work as a digital camera. In good light, you can distinguish two lines if they are separated by at least 0.6 arc minutes. Equivalent pixel size is 0.3 arc minutes. Now, if you take a 120-degree horizontal field and 60-degree vertical plane as your total plane of view, then the resolution of your eye would be 120 tarankan 120 tarankan 60 0.3 equals 576 million pixels equals 576 megapixels.